welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I am your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope everybody had a great trading day. It is Monday, and we are all just living the Bitcoin dream, as it was the first day of the Bitcoin futures officially being traded. So I know some of you are certainly going to have some questions on that. So we will actually take a look at the futures chart of Bitcoin. I don't have a bunch of the prior stuff, but I think it's something we can at least take a look at and talk a little bit about. For those of you that are new to the channel, I want to welcome you. Thank you for making it here today. We do the same thing every day on the Daily Market Commentary. We look at the same 10 to 12 markets, and we identify potential opportunities in the future, looking for possible turning points or breakout trades. Now, the important thing is we leave our lines on the charts. Keeps me accountable, keeps you accountable, and it allows you to see how trades develop over time and why we leave those lines on in the first place. So let's go ahead and get rolling. So starting off with the S&P. Now, today I will tell you, it was one of those days where nothing got filled. Nothing got filled today based on any of the positions that we have set up. And I actually got 3 or 4 emails about why I didn't select this area and take a short on this area. And the fact of the matter is that I am not shorting an all-time high. It just makes no sense whatsoever for me to be trying to short the all-time high. Once again, like I said, it's like tugging on Superman's cape or spitting into the wind. It just doesn't make any sense to tempt fate and to short that all-time high. That being said, we don't want to miss out too much on some of these gigantic moves as the market has really rallied over the last couple of weeks. We had that nice little turning point entry back in here off this area. This area does, in my opinion, still have some validity to it. To find anything in here, I'm going to go to a smaller time period. And the reason that I'm going to that smaller time period is because I'm going to try to see if there's something in here that would be enticing. And as I look at this, what I see is that every one of these fair price areas, price has already kind of come back and retested it multiple occasions. So unfortunately, there's really nothing here that I'm a huge fan of catching a reversal on a pullback back down. There is an opportunity to trade more of a candle-to-candle style when price does give you a little bit of a pullback into any one of really these areas down here. But if you notice, we've just kind of continued to go higher. So your other positions hopefully will kind of be carrying you forward. It hasn't given us a great entry aside from this one down in here, and I'm certainly not sure anybody's still in it from that point there. We had a little bit of a reversal off of this area here, but certainly not much of one. And so at this point, I think that if you get a retest back into this region right in here is really going to be about your best, your most logical spot. So we'd have to go to a fairly small time period down in here to find this. I might even go down. I don't like getting smaller than a 15 in reality, but this whole area could certainly act as a potential reversal point. Note that it already has kind of come into this area once, so the probabilities are a bit lower, making me want to go look at other markets. And the other markets that I would first start to look at are the Nasdaq. Now, the Nasdaq is coming up to our potential breakout area. Now, remember, if we get a breakout above this area, our stop goes below the prior pivot low. At this point, it would be below this area right here. I would be very, very comfortable with a pullback back into this region there. So if I go down to a 15-minute chart, there's a region that I'm actually much more comfortable with on the Nasdaq than I am on the S&P. And that would be this area all through here. This area all through here has not come back in and been, hit. And I think that there's going to be some psychological advantages to getting long on a pullback into here, certainly because it was resistance all through this region. And we've seen that be a fair price value area before, a very strong move up in price. So keep that area in mind kind of going forward. I still like the breakout to the upside, but if we do get a pullback in the overnight hours, that might be a good chance to get back in and get long. Crude oil, we are coming close to a potential reversal in crude oil right up here on the hourly chart. I am not a huge fan of the arrival into this area. I will tell you, as it stands right now, I'm really looking at almost a 1-to-1 reward to risk. So keep your stops tight if you do get into this crude oil level. I'm not a huge fan of the way it's kind of chopping around sideways before getting into the area. So keep that in mind. Gold, we are coming into that area that I talked about yesterday as a potential daily reversal. So there's a daily reversal in here, but when I went to the hourly, there was nothing in there that really struck me, really excited me. So it depends on your risk tolerances. If there is something in there you'd be willing to take. I've marked it off because it showed up very well on the daily. As a potential reversal point, it would put us in a high probability turning point right through here. So just keep this area in mind. For a daily chart, it definitely has the ability to make it back up to 1274. All right, taking a look at some bonds and some currency markets. Bonds, once again, continuing its sideways price action. Really nothing in here is telling us to get in. The Aussie, we had the breakdown short that I've taken the line away from on the breakdown short on the Aussie. If I go out to a bigger picture here, and I try not to look at too many time frames because I try to keep these videos to a fairly manageable and short time period. I know most of us are watching this later in the day. Didn't bring my mouse today, so I'm numb. All right, so we are coming at an area that on the daily chart we just broke through. I think there's room for this thing to continue to fall. So net, I'm more concerned with like shorting opportunities in the Aussie as it currently stands. We're putting in some slightly higher lows on the hourly, but on the daily, I really do like us continuing to go lower. So look for opportunities to get short. You may even get on a 15-minute time period this little area right up in here, a reversal back into this area here as a potential to get short. The euro. So the euro, we had a short on the euro, which we had talked about taking some profits off the table. Probably already taken some profits off the table. This area, I do have to remove this line since we're out of that position at this point. I do like this area right here in the euro. So a little bit off of this high right here. So if we reverse back up in here, I think you get a reversal, and this is an excellent target for this area in the euro. Canadian dollar, we still have a breakout short below this level here, and it just keeps teasing. It's just not getting filled. Having a hard time getting in on that one. It's just not coming down into that level yet, but it will eventually. Last and not least, let's take a look at the pound and the yen. Great British pound, we have really got prices continuing to fall on the pound. I think there's some good opportunity for a reversal for it to continue to fall. I'm not in love with the breakout short here, so there's no breakout opportunity in here that I see in this one. I would prefer a little bit of a reversal. I'd like to see price kind of come up just a little bit into this region here before then a reversal comes back down. I'm not going to put any lines on it yet because there's nothing on there that's striking me. Japanese yen, we are coming close into our potential reversal area, so we'll see what that looks like going forward. Natural gas. So those of you that trade nat gas, we've got some potential turning points up in here. Up in this region, but they're still fairly far away from current price. For those of you that are looking at Bitcoin, the symbol that we have is XBT for our Bitcoin futures. Now, certainly I don't have very much, but went from 15,000 up to 18,000. But if you really want to look at it as a potential trade, just looking at the sheer optics of demand and supply and where we believe that. In this area, we had more buying than selling in this fair price region. This 16,000 could be a pretty good entry for a fair price. You also could have a fairly decent short potential below this region here. So this is a setup for a short breakdown, and then this is a setup for a long reversal. So both of them, certainly you got to understand the risks involved in this. And I am not here to tell you that I've even looked at the contract specs on this. I have not. I just figured I would look at it from a technical perspective because some of you are asking. So. With that being said, remember, rule number one is to keep your capital as safe as you can. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My email address is chuck at iiefinancial.com. And I always like to give a little plug. If you or you know somebody who's they're not going to trade their own money, they're not going to do it, they want somebody to manage it for them, do me a favor, send them my way. I'd love to talk to you or anybody about how to help manage their finances, retirement accounts, things along those lines. That's what we do at IIE Financial. So hope everybody has an absolutely amazing day. Thank you so much for joining the video. Give me a like, give me a share, give me a tweet, give me a retweet, give me a whatever it is, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good day. See you.